now we will be seeing how to perform agarose gel electrophoresis for DNA. So we can separate different strands, or you can say different pieces of DNA using your agarose gel electrophoresis. So they will move under the electric charge. Their movement is going to be dependent upon their sizes. So the bigger sized molecules will remain close to the wells, and the smaller size molecules will move away from the well. So this is the apparatus that we are going to use for casting of the gel. Okay, so this is an horizontal electrophoretic apparatus. So where we can see these clamps are holding on this tray. Okay, so when we are just removing it, when the gel is already set, we can see how we will remove this. This is the well. This is the comb which is used for making the wells on the gel, so that we can add our samples onto those wells. So we will just keep this well like the combs like this. You have places, you can place it at the center also. So if you are not sure if your molecule is going to be moving towards your positive end or your negative end, that time you can place it at the center. But we know here it is the DNA which is negatively charged, so it is going to move towards one side. So that is the reason why I am going to put the well on one side itself. So this is 1% agarose. In this we have already added ethidium bromide. So 10 microliters of ethidium bromide has been added. So simply just pour on the agarose into this casting tray. Okay, and we will wait for it to solidify and then remove the tray and also remove the well, so it is ready for loading the samples. Agarose has already solidified. Now we can remove the gel. So before that we will just loosen the clamps like this. So it separates out well and good. Sometimes the agarose can come with your clamp. So in that case you will have to just break it, separate it like this, and remove the casting tray. So now we will just remove the wells. Okay, so you can see that the wells have been created. Loading. Load around 10 microliters. So I'll be using this micro pipettes, okay, which will precisely take up only 10 microliters. So I've taken the sample and then I will be loading onto the wells. So when we are seeing it from the top, we can actually see the wells, and slowly we'll have to just place it. So I will just put up the samples in 2-3 wells so that it is easier for you to visualize. So you can see in the 3 wells how the sample has been loaded. Now this gel is ready to be run on electrophoresis. Ready to run the gel, we will connect it to the electrodes. So first, this is the power pack. Okay, this is a mini power pack, so where we can decide which voltage we want to apply. So one thing we'll have to take care. I've already told you that DNA is negatively charged. So the well should be near the negatively charged electrode, so that the DNA can move from negative charged electrode towards the positive charge electrode. So accordingly I am going to connect. So red to red and black to black. Okay. So I am running this gel at 100 volts. We can also run it at 50 volts. So when we run it at 50 volts, it is going to be slower, and when we run it at 100 volts, definitely it is going to be faster. But more than that, if we are using the voltage, it is going to be faster, but it can denature the DNA, as it is going to generate, this higher voltage will generate a lot of heat. So that can lead to the denaturation of the DNA. So that is not at all preferable. So I'll just start. Yeah. So if you see, how do we check whether the electrophoresis has started or not? You can see the bubbles coming over here. Okay, so these bubbles are the indication that yes, the electrophoresis has started. So we will just allow this electrophoresis to happen till the sample moves till 3/4 of the gel. So that can be visualized by the movement of the blue colored dye. So here from top we have seen that the blue color has coming down. So we'll just switch it off, take off the electrodes. Okay. And then you can see, yes, it has already run to its full capacity till the 3/4. Okay, the blue color has already come down. Now we will be observing it under a UV trans illuminator, because now with the naked eyes we won't be able to see any ethidium bromide, because ethidium bromide is a fluorescent dye which is going to intercalate between the bases of the DNA, and when we observe it under UV trans illuminator, so then we would be able to see the fluorescent bands. So this is the result that we are seeing under the UV trans illuminator. So you can see clearly fluorescent bands over here. So here you can see that well number 1 and well number 2, what we can conclude is that well number 1 and well number 2, it had the same DNA sample. So it is showing you the bands at the same position. Yes, whereas in well number 3, we can see that it is a different sample, okay, where it had 2 different pieces of DNA. Okay, so we can see one of the band is very closer to the well, whereas the other band is little bit farther. So what we can conclude is that the band which is very closer to the well, that is corresponding to the heavier DNA, and whereas the one which is away from the well, it is going to be your it's going to be a lighter DNA. The molecular weight is going to be less for that particular DNA sample.